Let's talk about some books. Books on books on books on books on books. Hi there. It is now the summer. Hooray. I have been really into books the last probably few years. I'm just getting more and more into it, and I've recently started buying books from my local independent bookstore, Chaucer's Books, and I love it. But overall, I'm a huge fan of the library. I go at least once a week because, oh my God, free books, man. That is where it's at. So anyhow, yeah, I love print books. I love a book that is character driven, where it's all about a person. You get to know everything about them. You get to see their evolution and how they change. So I want to know everything that there is to know about somebody, and I'm like, give me all the details, give me all the dirt, man. I want to know. So that's kind of my thing with books. I really love, it's called women's fiction sometimes, where it's books written by women about women, kind of. I love a good fiction. I do like some suspense at times, a little bit of autobiographies and stuff, some historical fiction, oddly enough, even though I'm not into history. So anyways, let's get going. I'll show you my little book desk, and I'll show you what's what. Okay, so this is my old desk that I used during like the earlier COVID times. I had it upstairs. It's a corner desk. We kind of bastardized it and only use part of it right now. And it is in the kitchen, and it just happens to be where I keep my books at, the ones that I own, not my library books. I've got these awesome snail bookends that my mom got me for my birthday recently, and these are heavy, heavy bookends. They really keep everything in place. So again, most of my books that I buy for myself are from Chaucer's. These are basically my to-be-reads mostly, but I have more on the way because I have 2 Chaucer's orders on the way. These are the books that I'm reading right now. Ambition Monster, which I really do enjoy. It's about a woman who had a pretty traumatic childhood, and now she's very, very motivated and ambitious at work and burns herself out, and then realizes she needs to make some changes. That's kind of the basic gist of it, and it's a quick read. I think I got it like 2 days ago, and I'm like halfway through. And then this other book, Rebel Girl, I actually never listened to the band Bikini Kill myself, but I thought this sounded amazing. I really like a lot of feminist books, feminist reads, and there's some parallels between these books, you know, like where she also had a lot of trauma as a child, and then she got into the punk scene and doing music and writing and songwriting and singing. So I like this one as well, but sometimes it can be really emotionally difficult and a suck fest to read some books, so sometimes I need to take a little bit of a break, but that one's also another pretty quick read here. Some books over here I bought and I got a little bit into it, but then I was like it didn't bite me or absorb me into it right away, because I like captivating books. So I kind of put them aside a little bit. So we've got Housewife, Why Women Still Do It All and What to Do Instead, Ordinary Human Fallings. I probably should have just got some of these from the library, to be honest, and then I wouldn't have spent the money on it. Old Crimes and Other Stories. This is a little weird. It's like random little short stories, which I'm not too into. Butter, a novel of food and murder. I believe that's a Japanese writer there. And then the Titanic Survivors of Book Club. So again, these are the ones I just kind of started and was like, let's put them aside and see if I can get into them later. If not, life is too short for books that do not appeal to you. So in which case, I donate it and move it along. Some other books that are on my to-be-read. Hang on, that's my receipt. Nobody Really Has Their Ish Together. Doodles to Make You Feel Kind of Better. All in Her Head. I think this one's going to be really good. How Gender Bias Harms Women's Mental Health. I like that one, and that was in the, I always like to see what section it is at the bookstore. It's in the Women's Studies section. I have not started this one at all. The Dead Don't Need Reminding. In Search of Fugitives. Mississippi and Black TV Nerd, shush. And that's the History Black Studies area. These are going to start to fall over real soon. This one I didn't need to buy. I could have just gotten like a Kindle version, which my Kindle is charging. I have an ancient Kindle from 2012. It's 12 years old, but it still works. So I use stuff forever. And I could have just gotten a free version instead of paying for this. But this is about Glacier. This will be like a really fun reference book, I think, called The Globe Makers. And it's all about how people make globes. Oops, hang on, the books are starting to fall. I'm gonna have to fix them. I've never thought, like, who makes globes? What is the process to it, to building a globe and designing it or painting it? So I thought this would just be really fun to kind of browse through and look over at times. Yeah, so the Globe Makers book. Gosh. I've got this other one. Whoa. Okay, I have to keep the snails happy. I have to keep them happy. Got to put stuff back where it goes. This one is called Read Me Los Angeles, Exploring LA's Book Culture. That was just in the travel guide section. I don't know, I find it really interesting to see where books are categorized. Haven't really looked through it because I'm not, honestly, I don't travel much. I don't like being in the car, but it'll still be fun and interesting and kind of like relevant. Oh, there's this one book I actually saw. It's kind of like, it's a kid's book, but I saw it on Instagram, on an independent bookstore's like Instagram, and I was like, I want it. So I had the local bookstore kind of hunt down a copy for me. It's called My Very Own Special, Particular, Private, and Personal Cat. And they just say customer order because it was like a special order for them to find it for me. And it's cute. It is a kid's book, but I don't usually ever have like kids books. I'd love to read it to my nieces actually. So I was thinking of taking it when I go see them next and reading it to the girls, especially Maddie, because I think that'll be a good age for her to read this book. Let's put these back so everything doesn't fall over on me. And then it starts moving along to like my arts section and reference section a little bit. Botanical art techniques. Beautiful, very big, hefty book. And you can learn how to do watercolor, graphite, colored pencil, vellum, pen and ink, egg tempera, oils, printmaking, and more. It's also a really pretty book. So when I want to do arts and crafts, this is where I go. I've got my origami animals, and where is my, okay. I've got my origami paper over here, but this is actually like really small. I like to have big, larger origami paper, not these little dinky ones. So I may need to get a larger one. Let's put this back here. We've got this one that's called A Book That Loves You, An Adventure in Self-Compassion. I'm honestly not a huge fan of it. It's all of these little activities, like you are worthy, you are enough. So it's like a good theme, but I don't know. Not super into it. Modern paper making. My mom is really into stamping and stuff, and we made our own paper once for a school project when I was in 8th grade, and I remember how cool that was, like making our own paper. So I thought that'd be fun to get into at some point. Ugh, goodness. I'm not really great at like embroidery, although I've tried it before, especially years ago when I used to be into knitting, and then I never really got into crocheting, but I did do a little bit of embroidery, and I thought this would be a cool way to get back into embroidery. I have some like kids books about like connect the dots. Where's my other one? It's actually, if you're ever stressed out, you need to do a connect the dot, or they call it dot to dot book. It's the best thing ever. I love it. What is this? Oh, I haven't even, kind of forgot about this one. Other words. Otherworldly. Words both strange and lovely from around the world. I don't know. It looked cute. Doesn't that sound neat? You learn about these different words, what they mean and how they're used, and they have pretty pictures. I love it. I've got a little bit of sticker by number, which is kind of like stress relief, just like the dot books for me. But this one actually is from Costco. I remember getting that one at Costco. And then Andy and I did take a stab at this, the 15-minute watercolor masterpieces. Tried to do some watercolor. I've got some of my paints. Where are the paints at? The paints are over here. Yeah, and then some other random books that I just happened to like get at other stores. Kind of on a whim, you know what I mean? I did get the Jeff Sheldon book in-store at Chaucer's. He is a local architect. He's very recognizable. And I have a video on my YouTube actually about Andy and I went and did this little tour where we went and looked at some of the Jeff Sheldon designed homes around town. They are iconic. Ooh, that is a little creepy. I don't love the troll. Jeff is also working on that underpass, the Lower State Street underpass. But it's just, it's beautiful. El Jardin, the garden, that one. Yeah, I really like his styles, and this is a fun book to look at. So these are some books of my to-be-reads or trying to read. I did place a big order. It looks like a mess down here from the Lost Bookstore in LA, and that is what's down there. And then I have more books on the way. I'm kind of like into, hang on, let me get my phone and I'll tell you what they are. The names of some books that I just ordered are footnotes from the most fascinating museums. It's about stories and memorable moments from people who love museums. Sounds really neat. And there's a picture of, it might be the MoMA in New York City on the cover. I don't really know. We used to go to the MoMA in San Francisco. My dad would take us when we lived in the East Bay area, but I haven't really been to many museums other than that. I'm getting a book called Art Curious, Stories of the Unexpected, Slightly Odd, and Strangely Wonderful in Art History. I'm getting another book called High Style Masterworks from the Brooklyn Museum Costume Collection at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then a book that I love because of the title, and it's called The Story of Art Without Men. And it's all about women artists. And there's no mention of men who've had any influence in the art world. And so it's really a great opportunity to recognize women's contributions to art. Yeah, so I kind of got into a thing about like museum studies and art, so I placed an order last night to get a bunch of books kind of on that topic, which I'm looking forward to reading and having. Yeah, I find like it's amazing to be able to just kind of step out of my own world, to get absorbed in a book, to think about someone else's experiences, about what their life is like. It really helps me put everything into perspective about like the stress that I experience at work in particular. I just shut that down, go into a whole different world through reading a book, and then I come out kind of calmer and more relaxed and with better perspective. So that's important to me. Oh, side note, I am actually starting a new position. I got a new job. I start tomorrow, so that's a big deal. I've been in my current department 7 years, and I love everyone there. They have the best people ever, and that's the hardest thing, is just when you really truly care about the people you work with, and you have amazing people on your team, and you care about them and their families and their lives and where they're going and what they're doing. It's hard to step away from that, but I hope to stay in contact with everyone to see what they're doing with their lives. They're gonna do really good things. Yeah, so this is a good change for me. My new job that starts tomorrow. Andy and I are gonna try to stay busy today so I don't stress out too much about my first day. So we're gonna go see Inside Out 2 at the movie theater today, which we can't wait to see. We didn't see it this past weekend because he was working commencement. The movie just came out this past weekend. And then I'm gonna make a peach pie. So that's the plan, is Inside Out 2, make a peach pie. I need to water some of my avocado trees outside, walk slinky dinks, and prepare for my first day at the new job tomorrow. Yay! And then hopefully make some good temps on reading books this summer, because my to-be-read pile just kind of keeps growing and it's hard to chip away at. Oh, I'll show you my old Kindle. I got a lot of purple. I got pink and purple and purple. So this is my old Kindle from 2012. Still kicking. The battery doesn't last super long, and again, it is a bit older. I don't use it too often. I did read First Lie Wins on this recently, but other than that, I prefer print books. I'm not really into the Kindle that much. We'll see. Maybe it'll change. Yeah, so here's my very, very, very old 12-year-old Kindle, still kicking. I also have some books here in the living room. I keep my library books up top. My most recent books are one in a millennial, which sounds really cute. I don't know how to say the title of this one, but it looks like it's some type of Greek novel. Clymenstra. And then I heard good things about this book by Trevor Noah called Burn a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. This one, Night Watch. I don't remember what it's about. They Never Learn looks very scary and spooky. It's probably like a suspense type book. And then Paradise Problem, which is still a pretty new release. So I was excited when my name came up on that book. And then down here I have books that I own that I'm kind of just like slowly taking my time reading through. I did finish this one, I'm pretty sure, Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. It took me forever. It's a very dense book, but I think I'm keeping it around in case Andy wants to read it. This older one, I love that artist, Ali Brosh. I think everyone does. Solutions and Other Problems. She does cute little artwork. This book I only got half seas through. Invisible Women, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. The Anxious Achiever. I got a little into that one. This is funny, but I just have a Nickelodeon coloring book that I've done a little bit of. My dad gave me this one, but I don't think I've read it at all. Called Blueprint, The Evolutionary Origins of a Good Society. I think when he gave me this, he was like, Amanda, climate change isn't going to be totally awful. Like, read about the good stuff too, because I enjoy reading books about climate change. This one I haven't gotten into. I'll probably donate it. It's called Ripe. This cute little book, The Field Guide to Dumb Birds of North America. And Chronicle Books. Okay. I like Chronicle Books as a publisher. They tend to do a lot of fun or funky stuff, so it kind of fits with their type of books. And I'm pretty sure Chronicle Books is based up in San Francisco as well. This was a random purchase. I think The Counterfeit Countess, the Jewish woman who rescued thousands of Poles during the Holocaust. Looked interesting. Bibliophile. This is just like a cute one that has all kinds of like images and pictures in it that I thought would be fun just to look at, kind of flip through sometimes. I've got this other book, which is it's a cookbook called My Korea with Traditional Korean Foods. I need to return it to the library because it is a zip book, which they buy for you through Amazon. They ship it directly to you, and then you have to return it to your library. So I like the zip books. I just have to label them to make sure I return it to the right place and let them know about that. And then some other books. Actually, I started reading this book, Kristen Hanna's Magic Hour, and then realized